A very good evening to all the 11th standard students of St. John's. In this class, we are going to start a new chapter, chapter number 5. In the previous class, we had completed chapter 4, whose name is Combinatorics and Mathematical Induction. And the topics that we have studied under the chapter 4 was fundamental principles of counting, that is principle of addition and principles of multiplication, factorials and its properties we have discussed, and then we went on to discuss about the important topic called permutation, which means arrangement, and properties of permutations regarding problems, and then combinations, its properties. Combination means selection, its properties, and then problems based on combinations. And finally, mathematical induction, which is helpful for proving mathematical formulas. So these are the things that we have covered under chapter 4. Now in this class that we are starting a new chapter called chapter 5, the name of the topic or name of the chapter is binomial theorem, sequences and series. Binomial theorem, sequences and series. In this topic, sequences and series is nothing but you have studied the basic things in your 10th standard itself. You know what is, you had a chapter called a sequence and series in your 10th standard. But what is new to us is binomial theorem, then sequences and series. Binomial theorem we are going to see now only, but indirectly we have applied all the results of binomial theorem in the lower classes without knowing that it is a binomial theorem. So in this class we are going to deeply study what is binomial theorem and its formulas. So in this theory class you should learn, after going through the class you should immediately learn all the formulas which is given to you. First just go through what are all the formulas, just try to memorize, even write and practice, which will be helpful for you to understand the problems in a better way. Okay, now first heading is binomial theorem for positive integral index. This is our first heading, binomial theorem for positive integral index, under which a formula is given to us. So this is called binomial. This is actually the result of this binomial theorem for positive integral index. What is the meaning of positive integral index? Means this power index means power that should be positive integer. The power should be a positive number. That is what the condition is. So this is the binomial theorem result for what? Positive integral index. Index means power. In positive integral means it is the power should be a positive number. So the formula is like this: a plus b whole power n is equal to nc0. Don't get confused what is nc0, which we have studied in previous chapter, combination. That is what I just recollected, what are all the things we studied in the last class. nc0 means it is related with combination. And then nc0, a power n, b power 0, this is the first term, plus nc1, again combination, a power n minus 1, b power 1, plus nc2, a power n minus 2, b power 2, it goes on, etc. Plus the last term is ncn, a power 0, b power n. So what is this? This is the formula for binomial theorem for positive integral index. You should know the heading clearly. For what heading, under what heading we are learning this formula. A plus b whole power n. This can be given by the formula nc0 a power n b power 0 plus nc1 a power n minus 1 b power 1 plus nc2 a power n minus 2 b power 2 plus goes on, plus ncn a power 0 b power n. So this is nothing but a formula for binomial theorem for positive integral index. If you closely observe this formula once again, if you add the powers, if you see just n plus 0, what is the, if I add the two powers, what will be the answer? N plus 0 is n. Come for the second term, add the powers, n minus 1 plus 1, minus 1 plus 1, again n comes, n minus 2, 2. So again minus 2 plus 2 will cancel, n comes. So if you add the powers, it will be always n. Even if you see the last term, 0 plus n is n. So you can easily remember the formula. Accordingly, first term has nc0, second term nc1, third term nc2, nc3, nc4, finally ncn. This is n plus 1th term. And you should also notice this, since this is power n, if you count the number of terms present in the right hand side, it will be n plus 1, not n plus 1. How means, see, if you calculate this as the first term, for example, because 1 is present, first term, second term goes on, this is nth term, and this is one more term present, so n plus 1 terms are present in the RHS. So this is also a property of binomial theorem. If the power is n, we will be having n plus 1 terms. If the power is 10, we will be having 11 terms. If the power is 20, we will be having 21 terms. If we have power 3, we will have 4 terms. Even if you just go through the formula that we know already, I'll just write here. Even the formula a plus b whole square, no? A plus b whole square. What is the formula for this? A square plus 2ab plus b square. Now just compare this and this. What is the power n here? Power n is 2. How many terms we are having? 3 terms we are having. So 2 means here we will have 3 terms. Similarly, if the power is n, we will be having n plus 1 terms. Like that you have to understand. Even if you see here the first term, a square, here what is n value? 2. If I substitute 2 here, 2c0, 2c0, anything c0 is 1. So 2c0 becomes 1. A power n value is 2, so a square. B power 0 means 1, so a square is the first term. If you come for the second term, what is n? N is 2. If you put 2 here, 2c1, a power 2 minus 1, a power 2 minus 1 is a. Here is b. 2c1 is 2, so 2ab, that will be the second term. If you go for the third term, if put n is equal to 2, 2c2, answer is 1. If you put 2 here, 2 minus 2, 0, a power 0 is 1, so this is 1, this is 1, only b square remains. So there ends the formula. So every formula which we have used in our previous lower classes comes only from this binomial theorem. So you should understand that binomial theorem, this is the formula, this is the base for all the formulas. From that we are extracting all the things. The same formula can be rewritten in this format also. A plus b whole power n can be, instead of writing all these terms, we can write shortly like this. How means, if you put k equal to 0, what happens? nc0, a power n, b power, if you put k equal to 0, nc0, a power n, b power 0, which is the first term. Sigma means plus. If you put k is equal to 1, nc1, a power n minus 1, b power 1, second term comes like that. The same thing can be written like this. And another thing, the expansion a plus b whole power n contains n plus 1 terms. I have just explained how it is. The r plus 1th term in the expansion of a plus b whole power n is, suppose I want to find general term, r plus 1th term in this expansion. Suddenly if I want to find, suppose 100 terms are there, I want to find the 50th term. So directly I can use this formula. Suppose I want to find 25th term, I can use this formula. What is this? What for this formula will be useful? to find particular term. So TR plus 1 is given by the formula NCR A power n minus R B power R. So that is the general term formula. Again I repeat, TR plus 1 will be equal to NCR A power n minus R B power R. So all these things immediately you have to memorize, then only the problems will look simple. Again, what is this? This is to find a particular term in the binomial expansion. We are using this result, TR plus 1, R plus 1th term is written as NCR A power n minus R B power R. The next one, in the expansion of A plus B whole power n, that is the binomial theorem, the greatest coefficient is nothing but is given by NC n by 2 if n is even. So these are all the results that you should know. What is the meaning? If this is the binomial formula, then the greatest coefficient is given by NC n by 2 if n value is even. So even means that if the power is even, we can find the greatest coefficient using this formula. NC n by 2 is the greatest coefficient. Suppose if n is odd, that is the power is odd, then the greatest coefficient is given by either this or that. One is NC n minus 1 by 2 or other one is NC n plus 1 by 2. So these two will give, out of these two, we can take any one and calculate the greatest coefficient. When the n value is odd number. The next result, in the expansion of A plus B whole power n, that is in the expansion of binomial theorem, if n is even, then the middle term can be calculated using this result, T n by 2 plus 1. Again, when it can be applied if n value is even. What is these two formulas for? To find the greatest coefficient. What are these two formulas for? To find the middle term. So when the n is even, to find middle term, what is the middle term? T n by 2 plus 1. If suppose the n value is odd number, then the middle term will not be a single, it will be two terms. So those two terms can be calculated using this. That is, one is T n minus 1 by 2 plus 1 and the other middle term is T n plus 1 by 2 plus 1. So immediately you should learn all these things. These two are what? To find middle terms when in the binomial expansion. If even, you can take this as the middle term. If n is odd number, these two are the middle terms. Then the next heading is particular cases of binomial theorem. Now we are going to see some special cases in binomial theorem. Now we have studied in the first result, we have studied A plus B whole power n, right? This is the formula for A minus B whole power n. First, in the beginning of the chapter, the first line itself is a formula A plus B whole power n. But here it is A minus B whole power n. If you see the formula, there is no change in the formula anywhere. Only the symbol changes. Even if you compare this with A plus B whole power n, first term is same. But before second term, minus sign comes. So minus NC1 A power n minus 1 B power n. Then plus n. So the symbol changes. Alternate symbols will come. Plus, minus, plus etc. The last term is minus 1 power n. NCN A power 0 B power n. This is because it can be either minus or even it can be plus. For to say that we are putting minus 1 power n, because if n is 2, this will be positive term. If n is 3, this will be negative term. N is 4, this will be positive term. N is 5, this will be negative. So it may be either positive or negative to indicate that minus 1 power n comes. But the remaining thing are all same in the previous formula. NCN A power 0 B power n is the final term. So what is the difference between this and A plus B whole power n? Only the symbol. A plus B whole power n means everything is positive. A minus B whole power n means alternative symbols. One is plus, minus, like that it will go. And the other result that we should know is 1 plus x whole power n. We can have a formula for this. 1 plus x whole power n. This expansion can be given as a formula, and the formula is this: nc0 plus nc1x plus nc2x square plus etc. ncn x power n. What for this is 1 plus x whole power n. If it is like this, that expansion can be given by this formula: nc0 plus nc1x plus nc2x square plus etc. ncn x power n. Similarly, in place of plus, if minus symbol is present, that is 1 minus x whole power n means same formula, alternative symbols, plus minus, and the last term as usual minus 1 power n will come to indicate that either it may be positive or even it may be negative according to n value, and the last term is given by x power n, the same thing, but before minus 1 power n comes. Why? Because, can you tell why it is? Yes, to denote the symbol, and one term was missing here, ncn x power n. Don't forget to write ncn x power n, minus 1 power n, ncn x power n. This is the last term for what? 1 minus x whole power n. So up to this, first of all you have to thorough, then only the problems you can understand. Without knowing the result, please don't go for the problems directly. First write all these things and write the formulas in a separate rough notebook. First go through and memorize all the formulas, tell within yourself. After making sure that you are thorough with all the formulas, then you enter into the problems and try to listen the problem. Right? Now we will enter into the problem, but you should not. You should thorough all the formulas, then you go through the problems. We'll see problem number 1 now. Problem number 1, expand this one plus this one. So we have to expand these two. If you observe the question closely, power 4, same. If you see the first term, 2x square. Here also first term is 2x square. Second term, 3 into root of 1 minus x square. Here also second term, 3 into root of 1 minus x square. The only difference is here minus and here it is plus. So we know very well, but if I want to expand this, I can use the formula a minus b whole power n, right? A minus b whole power n. If I want to expand this, a plus b whole power n, where n is 4, a and b are same. So I am writing what is a. A is 2x square, b is the second term, 3 into root of 1 minus x square, n value is 4. So instead of calculating this separately and calculating this separately and then finally adding, we are going to look at the two formulas now. What is a plus b whole power n? The formula I have written here. This we have studied already. A minus b whole power n, that is also given by a formula, and the formula is here. What is the difference between these two? Here everything will be in plus symbol. Here it will be plus minus, etc. So when I add these two, what will happen? A plus b whole power n plus a minus b whole power n. If I add these two, what will happen? Can you guess and tell? The second term and the second term will get cancelled, right? Because plus nc1 a power n minus 1 b power 1. Here it is minus nc1 a power n minus 1 b power 1. So here it is plus minus. So second term will go. What about first term? They are same, right? This is and this one are equal. So 2 times will come. I can add these two times. Similarly, see the third term. I can add these two also because they are all equal. nc2 a power n minus 2 a power n minus 2 b square. So if I add this, what is the answer? 2 times nc2 a power n minus 2 b power 2. So in general, since the power is 4, try to understand, since the power is 4, if I expand this on totally 5 terms I will be having. Similarly, since the power is 4, if I expand this 5 terms I will be having totally 10 terms, right? 5 terms here and 5 terms here, 10 terms. Out of that, second term will get cancelled. Try to understand, second term will get cancelled. fourth term will get cancelled, sixth term will get cancelled, eighth term and 10th term will get cancelled. So even terms will get cancelled, right? I think if I have 5 terms and 5 terms below, I think I'm telling it wrong. If you are listening properly, you will analyze that what I am telling was wrong. If I expand this, 5 terms I will be having. If I expand this, another 5 terms I will be having. So out of that, second term will go, then fourth term will go. Now I think you will understand. Again, slowly I will tell. If I expand this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. If I expand this, another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms will be there. Out of the second term and fourth term will get cancelled. 1, 3, 5 terms will get added. So that is what I am writing here. 2 times first term is added here. What is first term? NC0. N is 4. So 4C0. A power n. A is 2x square power n is 4. B power 0. B is 3 into root of 1 minus x square power 0. So this is the first term gets added. So 2 I am writing. Plus 2 into, this is third term. Close the bracket. What is third term? If you see 1, 2, 3. Third term is NC2. That is 4C2. A power 2x square power n minus 2. 4 minus 2. 2. B power 2. So this is B to the power of 2. Plus fifth term 2 times, adding 2 times. What is fifth term? Fifth term will start from NC4 because third term starts from NC2. Fifth term means NC4. So 4C4 2x square power 0. Why it is 0? You will understand. 3 into root of 1 minus x square to the power of 4. Is it right or not? Just if you expand the formula, fifth term will be like this. So remaining things and all calculation. 4C0 means 1. 2 power 4 is 16. X square power 4 means x power 8. Again, since power 0 means this totally will become 1. So only 16. If I expand this, the answer is 16x power 8 plus 4C2. See the expansion here. 4 into 3 by 1 into 2. Simplifying 6 we are getting. So 6 into 2 square 4. X square whole square x power 4. Squaring this 3 square is 9. Square and root will get cancelled. So 1 minus x square plus 4C4 is 1. Since power 0 this will become 1. 3 power 4 means 81. Square power 4. So for 1 square will get cancel it will cancel the root, another square will remain, so 1 minus x square whole square. Since 2 is present in all the 3 terms, taking 2 as common and writing the remaining things. Remaining things and all simplification, writing this plus 4 into 6 into 9, 216 x power 4 this plus 81 into this. So this is the final answer. So everything is based on the binomial theorem formula. So try to understand, slowly spend your time here. Even if you don't understand, take much time, go through it once again, see how it works. Try to understand this sum. We'll go for the next sum. Problem number 2. Compute 9 to the power of 7. That is the question. So 9 to the power of 7 is written as 10 minus 1 power 7. 9 is written as 10 minus 1. Now clearly A is 10, B is 1, n value is 7. What is the formula for A minus B whole power n? NC0. Directly I have substituted. You just write the formula and then substitute. NC0, which means 7C0, A power n, B power 0. Since it is 7, power is 7, we will be having 8 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why I am writing alternative symbols? Because A minus B whole power n. Since it is A minus B whole power n, first term is plus, second term minus, third term plus, fourth term minus, fifth term plus, sixth term minus, seventh term plus, eighth term minus. If you add the powers, 7 plus 0, 7, 6 plus 1, 7, 5 plus 2, 7, 4 plus 3, 7, 3 plus 4, 7, 2 plus 5, 7, 1 plus 6, 7, 0 plus 7, 7. So everything is 7 only because of this 7. So you can easily write all these things using the formula. Then calculation. 1 power 0, 1. 7c0 is 1. So this and this becomes 1. 10 power 7 only remains. Similarly here 7c1 means 7. 10 power 6. 7c2, if you calculate and see, the value will be 21. Don't ask how to calculate. 7 into 6 by 1 into 2. 21 into 10 power 5. Similarly 7c3 value 35. 10 power 4. 7c4 value 21. 10 power 3. Sorry, 7c4 35. 10 power 3. Minus 7c5 is 21. 10 square. 7c6 is 7. 10 power 1. 7c7 1. Everything becomes 1. So last term is 1. By just simplifying, you can get this answer. These are all addition and subtraction. So you have to understand this. So everything is again based on a minus b whole power n formula. Then expanding and finding out the answer. Next we'll go for problem number 3. Find the coefficient of x power 15 in this expansion. This is a binomial expansion. If we expand this, what will be the coefficient of x power 15? That is the question. We will see how to do that. So listen carefully. This is the given expression actually. X square plus 1 by x power 3 whole to the power 10. So clearly the first term is taken as a, second term is taken as b, and n value, if you see, n value is 10, power is n, right? For this type of questions, that is to finding coefficient, we need to find the general term tr plus 1. If you would have a thorough with the theory class, you should know this formula. Tr plus 1 is equal to ncr a power n minus r b power r. So tr plus 1, substitute in place of n 10 10cr, a value is x square, b value is 1 by x cube. So substituting n, a and b in this formula. Now if you see 10cr, since two powers are there, multiply those two powers. 2 into 10, 20, 2 into minus r, minus 2r. Similarly, x power 3, if goes to numerator, it becomes x power minus 3. You will understand. X power 3 goes to numerator, becomes x power minus 3, and power already one r is there, so x power minus 3r. If you see the bases are same, x, so I can add the power. So it becomes 20 minus 2r minus 3r becomes 20 minus 5r. So now I have calculated the general term tr plus 1 taken as first equation. What actually I want? I want coefficient of x power 15. So some x power something is there. I want 15 in the power. Then only I'll get x power 15th term. So what I'm doing is equating this power to 15. So 20 minus 5r, put that is equal to 15. Suppose if we want to calculate the coefficient of x power 12, I should put 12 here. So what power we want, that we can take. From this simplifying, we are getting r value as 1. Now substitute this r is equal to 1 in first equation. What happens? 1 plus 1 becomes 2. T2 is equal to, if you substitute 1 here, 10c1, 10c1. If I put 1 here, it will become 15, x to the power of 15. So what is the coefficient of x power 15? 10c1. Therefore coefficient of x power 15 is 10c1. 10c1 means answer is 10. I think you will understand this. We will see same model problem now. One more problem of same model. Problem number 4. Find the coefficient of x power 6 and x square in this expansion. Two questions are asked to us. So anyhow, we are going to take a as x square. Now you should listen this carefully. B is equal to, with minus sign we have to take. When we should do like this means when we are calculating the general term. When we calculate tr plus 1, we should take, including minus sign, we should take as b. So a is x square, b is minus 1 by x cube, power is taken as n. So calculate tr plus 1. Tr plus 1 means, what is the formula? ncr a power n minus r b power r. This is the formula. Substitute n value, n is 6cr, a value is x square, b value is minus 1 by x cube power r. So substituting n, a, b in this formula. 6cr two powers are there, multiply 2 6 are 12, 2 into minus r minus 2r. If you see this, take the numerator separately, minus 1 power r is written separately. X power 3 goes to numerator, becomes minus 3 into r minus 3r. So 6cr minus 1 power r, since this and this are base are same, so I can combine the powers. 12 minus 2r minus 3r becomes 12 minus 5r. So since I have calculated tr plus 1, taken as equation number 1. What I want coefficient of x power 6. So the power should be 6. So putting the power as 6, we are getting, by just interchanging the terms, we'll be getting 6 is equal to 5r, or r is equal to 6 by 5, which is not possible, because if I put 6 by 5, what happens? The term will become decimal. Shall I say 1.5th term or 2.3 term? No, it will be wrong. So r cannot come in fraction, it is not an integer. The meaning is there is no term involving x power 6. We don't have a term called x power 6. That is the meaning for the first one. There is no term involving x power 6. Why? Because r value come as a fraction. So it is wrong. What is the next question asked? We need to find the coefficient of x square. So what is our next aim? The power should be 2. So put 12 minus 5r is equal to 2. Arranging the terms, 5r will be 10, cancelling, r is equal to 2. Now I am getting a round number. So I can substitute this in first equation. So what happens for first equation? If I put 2 here, what happens? 2 plus 1 is 3. T3 is equal to 6c2. Here if I put 2 minus 1 power 2. If I put 2, 5 2s are 10. 12 minus 10 is 2. So x square. I want coefficient of x square. X square is present here. So what is the coefficient now? Therefore coefficient of x square is these things, right? Out of this becomes 1, because minus 1 into minus 1 will become 1. So coefficient is only 6c2. How to calculate 6c2? You know, 6 into 5 by 1 into 2. 2 and 6 will get cancelled. 3 into 5 is 15. So the coefficient of x square is 15. Coefficient of x power 6 we cannot find out, because there is no term involving x power 6. Why? Because r value comes in fraction. So I think you will understand these problems. So since it is we're beginning the chapter, try to concentrate clearly, spend more time in the theory part and learning for the formulas, and then even all these four sums you just now itself you write and practice, so that you will get a clear-cut idea when we go deeper into other problems. Thank you, children.